Hey guys, welcome to Infinite Tripping. Today we're going to learn something really great and it will help you make better cinematic videos. So without wasting any more time, let us jump right into it. Can we roll a brand new intro please? Point number 1. Do not pan. It is quite common for beginners to hold the phone or the camera and start panning as soon as they start recording. It is not the worst filming technique in the world, but it doesn't really look pleasing to the eye. If you want to elevate your cinematic videography game, you really need to stop doing this. So what do you do instead, right? Start with the 3 standard and straightforward techniques. 1. Move or walk or even run with your subject if need be, keeping yourself parallel to the subject. This gives the audience a feel of the scene. They can imagine themselves being at the scene, following you and watching exactly what you watch. 2. The second technique is quite easy. Move towards the subject, keeping your hands steady if you're not on a slider or gimbal. 3. The third technique is the opposite of the second one. Move away from the subject. There is another way of implementing it in case you forget to do this on scene. That is when you are sitting at your desk with your editing software. Be it Premiere Pro or Final Cut or whatever it is that you use, just reverse your clip. This can be a bit problematic if you are not on manual focus, so I would suggest this technique only when you are confident about the results from implementing this technique. Point number 2. Image stabilization. This is extremely important for the video to look cinematic. This can be achieved in multiple ways by combining all of them or at least having a subset of the ways I'll mention now. Buy a camera or a phone with inbuilt body stabilization. This can be an expensive option, but you need to think about how much are you ready to invest to increase your overall video production quality. This feature is generally called IBIS, Inbuilt Image Stabilization, and a lot of expensive cameras out there have this. My camera, Panasonic GH5 has it, Sony's A7R3, A7R4, A7 III, A9, Nikon's Z6, Z7, and the new launched Canon R5 does have it too. 2. Buy a lens with IBIS. My Lumix 1235 f2.8 lens has IBIS. If you can combine an IBIS camera with an IBIS lens, you don't really need a gimbal, really. That entire setup will probably cost you around $3,000, but it is a one-time investment and it is totally worth it. The third technique is using gimbals. You can Google for the same based on your camera. I'm not going into a lot of details about it. That information is out there. But I can suggest the DJI Ronin S and the Zhiyun Crane 2 for mirrorless cameras, while you can use the DJI Osmo for your smartphones. The fourth and final technique is stabilizing your footage with software. Use the warp stabilization effect available in Premiere Pro. I'm guessing similar techniques are available in Final Cut Pro and DaVinci Resolve. Point number 3. Shoot at a higher frame rate. This technique slows down your video, making it milky, smooth, and cinematic. It might not capture the moment in its truest essence, but it does slow down the moment and make it stand out even more, with the audience getting more time to appreciate the scene. With my GH5, I generally shoot at 120 frames per second, but even if your camera can't do 120, you can still get great footage with 60 frames per second. There are some cameras, like my GH5 again, that can shoot 240 frames per second, but this will need a very powerful processor and RAM to process your videos, which means you will need an expensive desktop or laptop. Point number 4, which is shoot at 4K. This will add more color, resolution, and depth to your videos. It will make your production richer and more cinematic. But then again, make sure your laptop or desktop can process 4K videos. Point number 5. Color grade your videos. Let us break it down into a few rules. 1. You can use lookup tables from the internet or color grade yourself if that is something you are good at. Point 2. Make sure you color correct before you color grade. This again will need an eye and expertise of understanding these things. 3. It will also be great if you shoot on a flat profile. It will let you do a lot more when you import the video into your editing software. I'll do specific individual videos for all these techniques that I'm talking about, and I'm hoping that will be helpful to you guys in the future. Coming to point 6, deploy cinematic transitions to your videos. 1. You can get transitions from the internet. 2. You can create your own transitions. 3. Make sure you mix up your transitions. Don't use the same ones throughout the videos. 4. Don't add transitions just for the heck of it. I have to say I've been guilty of this a bunch of times. Try to add transitions only when it is really required. Point number 7. Sound design your videos. This is extremely important. I've missed this a lot of times wherein I export the video and realize, oh geez, I forgot to add sound design. So write down these points before you even start recording your videos. It'll come very handy. So what exactly is sound design in your videos? 1. Add sound to the objects that show up in your videos, like a flying bird or a moving car or a waterfall or even a zipper on a jacket that is being pulled up. 2. Add atmosphere sounds to your videos. This makes the audience even more invested in the scene you are showing to them. Make sure you do this even if you're showing a static photo instead of a video. 3. Add transition sounds like a whoosh or a light beat. Adds to that feel of the video moving from one scene to another. Point number 8. Sync your video to the music beats. This is not very difficult as it sounds. 1. You need to match the mood of the video with the music you choose. 2. You need to sync the transitions with the music. Change only when the sound decibel is going up or down. 3. Use a legitimate music website like Epidemic Sound. It is heaven for music. It will give you everything that you need to make great videos with proper synchronized music. Point number 9. Add horizontal bars to your videos. This sounds very simple, but it makes a huge difference. It can change the entire impression of a cinematic video and make you feel that you are actually watching a movie or cinema rather than some random clips being thrown at you for no reason whatsoever. Again, as I've mentioned before, I'll make a video on how to add these horizontal crop bars into your video. Finally, we are at point number 10. Use DOF lens or a depth of field lens like a f1.8, 1.7, 1.4 or even 1.2 if you're ready to go to the distance with cinematic video production quality. Point to note is, higher the aperture, costlier is your lens, so your decision making will depend on what kind of videography you do. All genres might not need a DOF lens, but it does make certain scenes in your video look amazing when shot with a lens with a higher aperture. One point to note, higher your focal length, better bokeh you get in your scenes. I will in the future deep dive into each of these categories and help you understand how to implement them in your videos. And if you guys have come this far, I really appreciate it for increasing our average view duration. I would also want you guys to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It will really help us to stay motivated to give videos like this to you guys in the future. If you guys have some comments about cinematic videography, leave it in the comment section below. That's it from me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.